Dozens of prominent New York Democrats, from Chuck Schumer to Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez, have called on Governor Andrew Cuomo to resign after a flood of sexual harassment allegations and the revelation that his administration covered up the COVID death toll in nursing homes. For more on this, it's time for a closer look. New York Governor Andrew Cuomo has had such a precipitous fall from grace that in the span of just a few months, he's gone from winning an Emmy, writing a best-selling book, and doing prop comedy with giant medical swabs on CNN like a dental hygienist at a middle school assembly, to facing calls for his resignation from dozens of his fellow Democrats, including some of New York's most prominent lawmakers.
The majority of House Democrats from New York are calling for Cuomo's resignation, including Representative Alexandria Ocasio-Cortez. Chairman of the House Committee on the Judiciary, Jerry Nadler, released a statement saying the repeated accusations against the governor and the manner in which he has responded to them have made it impossible for him to continue to govern at this point.
More than 50 state Democratic lawmakers, legislators, signed onto a letter yesterday also calling on Cuomo to resign.
It's clear that Governor Cuomo has lost the confidence of his governing partners as well as the people of New York.
It is disgusting to me, and he can no longer serve as governor.
It's clear to me that the governor can no longer be effective.
Governor Cuomo has lost the confidence of his governing partners and of so many New Yorkers. So for the good of the state, he should resign.
First of all, you know you're in a bad spot when even Chuck Schumer calls on you to resign. That dude doesn't do anything hastily. Before he makes any decision, he has to have at least 4 brow furrows and inch his glasses down to the tip of his nose. Chuck Schumer makes decisions so slowly that one time he was ordering at an Italian restaurant and the waiter stood there so long he died of exposure. Let's see, rigatoni? No. Ziti? Too heavy. Do you have any? Second, so many Democrats have called on Cuomo to resign that at this point it's easier to ask who hasn't done so. Good news, Governor. The Oswego County Commissioner for Water and Sewer Services standing by us. Wait, nope, sorry. He said you should resign. Somebody called the Schenectady Parks Department. They'll never turn on us. And just to give you a visual representation of the dramatic collapse of Cuomo's political standing, here he is in November accepting an Emmy for his COVID briefings. And here he is on Friday at the governor's mansion wrapped in a blanket holding a bottle of something. Nobody panic, we're going to be fine. Now get me my thinking blanket. I need to make some calls. It's never good when your governor starts dressing like Nicole Kidman's therapist from some HBO murder show. Looks like someone's deadbeat dad who hangs around beach bonfires and tries to start sing-alongs to Brown Eyed Girl. I'm not saying his administration is a shipwreck, but that's how guys dressed when they tried to sneak onto a Titanic lifeboat. Am I a man? Oh, gracious, no. My name is Mrs. Bottle Blanket. And yet Cuomo so far resisted the pressure to resign, blaming it on cancel culture and insisting that he's being targeted because he's not part of the political establishment.
People know the difference between playing politics, bowing to cancel culture, and the truth. Let the review proceed. I'm not going to resign. I was not elected by the politicians. I was elected by the people. Part of this is that I am not part of the political club.
All right, first of all, can we now agree that the term cancel culture is officially meaningless? He's using the same line as the people who spent the last 3 weeks getting mad about the Muppets, Mr. Potato Head, and Looney Tunes. This is just like what happened to Dr. Seuss. The only difference is I do run the zoo. Second, how can you say you're not part of the political club? You're the son of a former governor. You were in Bill Clinton's cabinet. Your last name is on a bridge. That's like Al Unser Jr. saying you didn't come from car people. It really can't be understated just how dramatic a downfall this has been for Cuomo. It wasn't long ago, of course, that he was winning national acclaim for his performances at coronavirus briefings, where he, among other things, displayed his mastery of the calendar.
Today is Saturday. That is a fact. Today is Sunday. Today is Friday. Today is Saturday. Today is Monday. Today is Thursday. Today is Saturday.
I mean, it really gives you an idea of just how surreal and horrifying the early days of the pandemic were, that we all found it soothing to watch a guy with all the charm and charisma of an outer borough mattress salesman tell us what day of the week it was. If Andrew Cuomo's dad hadn't been governor, there's a good chance he'd be working at one of those used car dealerships in Queens that does local ads during Yankee broadcasts. Come on down to Cuomo Kia of Kew Gardens. Cuomo cars, Cuomo savings. Isn't that right? Former Yankees third baseman Scott Brocious. Today is Monday. Now that's a home run. Again, I get why we found them reassuring. I did too. It was a scary time and there was a leadership void and he stepped into it. There were times when I genuinely did not know what day it was. It's not like I was grabbing a newspaper on my daily commute to the attic. The same controlling authoritarian tendencies Cuomo has displayed throughout his career also made him a commanding presence when everyone was desperate for one. And as a result, he turned himself into a TV star. He won an Emmy, wrote a best-selling book, stirred speculation that he might run for president or become Joe Biden's attorney general, and earn a nickname that was super cringy at the time, and in retrospect, so much worse.
The governor of New York, Andrew Cuomo, he has been front and center, right, during this pandemic, holding coronavirus briefings during the week, updating the country. Lately, he has been asked by many, including his own brother, CNN's Chris Cuomo, if he will run for president.
We are learning that Governor Cuomo may be in the running for Joe Biden's attorney general.
The Love Gov here on GMA this Monday morning.
The Love Gov?
Yeah, that's Andrew Cuomo's nickname. You didn't know that?
Now, I've seen you referred to a little bit recently as the Love Gov.
The New York Post dubbed you the new Love Gov.
Ugh. No politician should ever be called the Love Gov. That sounds like the name of an early 2000s bro comedy starring Owen Wilson as a college dropout who accidentally becomes governor. Oh, man, I gotta clean my room before the legislature comes over. And now all that acclaim is vaporized nearly overnight as the real Andrew Cuomo is caught up to the character Andrew Cuomo was playing on TV, or as the New Republic put it, fans of Andrew Cuomo, the television character, are being introduced to Andrew Cuomo, the newspaper character, and the newspaper character is always so much worse than the TV character in the newspaper. Those Far Side cartoons are just a bunch of dumb cavemen, but in the TV show, they were played by Ryan Gosling and Timothée Chalamet. The point is, Cuomo's TV audience is now learning about the real Andrew Cuomo as he faces accusations of bullying and abuse of power, creating a toxic workplace environment, a COVID cover-up, and allegations of sexual harassment from at least 6 women.
Over the last 2 weeks, 6 women, including current and former members of Cuomo's staff, have accused him of sexual harassment and unwanted advances.
The allegations against Cuomo range from allegations of inappropriate touching and inquiries about the sex lives of his subordinates to allegations of unwanted kissing and a request to play strip poker during a trip on a government plane.
Ugh, why is strip poker the spin the bottle of gross older dudes? Also, what's the appeal? Like, I don't have a good body, but the worst it's gonna look is naked and hunched over a card table. Plus, it's extra bad for me because my tell when I'm bluffing is my penis gets smaller. That's what happened, everyone. I don't know what to tell you. I was bluffing. Let's let it go and deal the cards. Apparently, another one of Cuomo's tactics was to ask female aides for tech help. One former aide said Cuomo asked her to help him with his iPhone, claiming he was uncertain how to get from his settings app to his notes app. And then late last fall, Cuomo summoned another female staff member from the Capitol to his executive mansion. This time, the woman, who is roughly half his age, was directed to his private residence on the 2nd floor. Again, Cuomo said he could not operate the notes app on his iPhone and needed her assistance. Nothing says sexy like I'm too old to figure out my phone. What a horrible pickup line. That's like saying, hey, babe, got a minute? My VCR keeps blinking 12 o'clock. Also, I'm sorry, you couldn't find your notes app? It's right there. It's on the home screen. Looks like a notepad. It says notes. How many more clues do you need? How do I access it? Do I yell at it? Notes, open, begin note. Today is Monday. And in addition to the sexual harassment allegations, Cuomo is also dealing with the fallout from his administration's alleged cover-up of coronavirus deaths in nursing homes. Cuomo and his administration are facing investigations from the FBI and U.S. Attorney and an impeachment inquiry from the state legislature after the state attorney general found that his administration had severely undercounted COVID deaths in nursing homes.
The New York Times reporting tonight, top aides to New York's Governor Andrew Cuomo rewrote a report in summer of last year to hide the number of nursing home deaths due to the coronavirus.
In the wake of Cuomo ordering nursing homes to take in all individuals, even with COVID, in March 2020, which critics say led to loss of life, some of Cuomo's top aides allegedly rewrote a June 2020 nursing home report to hide the high COVID death toll in nursing homes, cutting it by nearly half.
That's right. They just rewrote the report. They covered it up. They lied. And if they lied about the COVID death toll in nursing homes, you have to ask yourself, what else are they lying about? Wait a second. Today isn't Saturday. It's Thursday. And look, again, I get why. To anyone who watched Cuomo on TV during the pandemic, this might all be a little bit shocking, but to people who have chronicled his career in New York, it's anything but. For one thing, Cuomo has long been a nemesis of progressives in the state, often siding with Republicans and even helping them maintain control of the state Senate for years. He threatened to destroy Democratic member of the state assembly, Ron Kim, for criticizing his handling of nursing homes. And last year, at the same time that he was winning plaudits for his COVID briefings, he was also proposing massive cuts to Medicaid, which included $400 million in cuts to hospitals in the middle of a pandemic. That's like showing up to a burning building with that month's water bill. Whew, this is going to be a hefty one. Cuomo also saw an exodus of public health officials from his administration after he all but declared war on his own public health bureaucracy, according to the New York Times, seizing control of the state's vaccination program, sidelining experts, and ignoring their advice. And Cuomo even went so far as to make this stunning remark.
When I say experts, in air quotes, it sounds like I'm saying I don't really trust the experts. Because I don't. Because I don't.
That's some real sports radio call-in energy. Jets are going all the way next year. Don't trust the experts. I bet my house on it. Okay, it's in my wife's name. I live in it. I live in it. Also, really, you think you know better than the experts? Okay, mister, I can't find my notes app. Cuomo's long been known in New York as a micromanaging bully who intimidates and coerces people to get his way, which is why he has so few friends left now as he faces a stampede of intensifying scandals. And there have been in recent days a series of damning exposés about the toxic culture of intimidation and imperiousness he has fostered around him. One of those articles, by New York Magazine's Rebecca Traister, contains this deeply revealing anecdote about a party at the governor's mansion a few years ago. Partway through the bash, there was a roast of Cuomo's top aide, Melissa DeRosa. The roast entailed projecting photos of prominent state officials, then asking Melissa if she knew their names, and her not knowing. We were saying to each other, "This is weird," said one former staffer. And yeah, it is. Can you imagine that happening in any other workplace? A senior manager joking about not knowing anyone's name? Can you imagine if my team threw up a photo of our band leader and I didn't know his name? Ted Artisan Frud are missing. The most embarrassing thing I've ever done at a staff party is try to get everyone's attention for an inspirational speech by tapping a glass with a spoon, breaking the glass and cutting my finger, passing out when I saw the blood, and only waking up when Wally threw an entire bucket of water on me, which to this day seems like overkill. Would you agree in hindsight, Wally, that a bucket was too much water? Okay, great. Thank you, Wally. And there have even been public instances of Cuomo brushing off questions from journalists about the rampant culture of sexual harassment in Albany, like this heated exchange with reporters from 2017 in which he tried to turn the question back on them.
You did have it going on within your own administration, allegedly, with Sam Hoyt. What could you do differently to, kind of pick up on that?
Well,
more?
look, you have it going on in journalism.
Yeah, I know.
What are you going to do differently?
But the question is about state government.
Yeah,
it's about
state government. I could tell you later in great detail about that if you're interested.
No, it's about you and journalism. And it's about you and journalism. And it's about state government. And it's about carpentry.
You can't just deflect questions about sexual harassment by listing off a bunch of random professions. It's about carpentry. It's about trucking. It's about scuba diving, flamenco dancing, beekeeping. You guys ever wonder what they're wearing under those suits? Dozens of the most prominent Democrats in New York have called on Cuomo to resign. It's a stunning fall from grace. People familiar with the TV version of Andrew Cuomo are now meeting the real Andrew Cuomo. Who knows at this point if he'll even make it to the end of the week, given that
today's Monday.
This has been A Closer Look. God's Love We Deliver cooks and brings over 2 million meals a year to men, women, and children living with HIV, AIDS, cancer, and other serious illnesses. They need your help now more than ever. If you're watching this online, you can hit the donate button. Stay safe, wear a mask, get vaccinated. We love you.